And we're back with a different kind of video. This is not, well, it is a reaction, but it is not a reaction to a TV show. It is a reaction to an announcement. And that is James Gunn's announcement of his first chapter of the DC Slate. Now, a little bit of history going on this. James Gunn came in November and basically said that he wants to restart him and Peter Safran as co-CEOs of the new DC studios. They want to reboot the DC movie studios, which I am all for. Basically, he wants to reboot DC studios and make a whole new cinematic universe with him and Peter Safran as like the new Kevin Feige's. So they're co-CEOs of DC studios, and I know there's a lot of controversy that came in with this when Henry Cavill had to announce that. At first, in October, he announced that he was returning as Superman after an appearance in Black Adam, which I have not seen yet, but I will. So Henry Cavill puts out a post on social media saying that he's coming back, and then after James Gunn takes over, he has to put out another post saying he's not coming back because James Gunn and Peter Safran, they want to go with a younger Superman who's more in his early days. So I'm thinking like mid to late 20s, maybe even early 20s, Smallville age, kind of. Maybe a bit older. But yeah, Henry Cavill doesn't fit that criteria, and I know a lot of people got pissed off at James Gunn for that, which I don't know why, because James Gunn was not the one to tell Henry Cavill to make that post. Like, James Gunn wasn't even in charge when Henry Cavill made that post, so it's not on him to say. It's not on him to tell Henry Cavill what to not do or not do. And so, yeah. Me personally, I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he got strung along really badly, and I do think he was treated badly. But I don't blame James Gunn for that. Like, James Gunn wasn't in charge during that time. So, yeah, it's just overall, you've just got to accept what it is, and we know that Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot will likely not be coming back as Batman and Wonder Woman, which I do love those people as those characters, but if you want to fix the clusterfuck that has become the DCEU, you've just got to reboot. There's no saving it at this point. There's too much controversy. Like, Man of Steel was divided. Like, not everyone liked it. Not a lot of people. It wasn't the success that they obviously wanted it to be. Batman v Superman, very divisive. A lot of people hated it. A lot of people liked it, but mostly it wasn't great. Then came Suicide Squad, which was not that great, especially when they gave the editing of that movie to a music video company, I think, or a trailer company. So, yeah, not great. Wonder Woman was very good. I really like Wonder Woman, but once again, when your fourth movie in your DC cinematic universe is the first one that actually does very well, you know we got problems. And then fifth, oh my god, the Justice League. It was terrible before, but now it's now with the salt of the earth after seeing the Snyder Cut. After seeing what the Snyder Cut gave us, the Justice version, Joss Whedon's version is the salt of the earth. It is scum in my eyes. I will never watch that movie ever again. I would 100 times watch the Snyder Cut over the Justice League version. Especially with what kind of person Joss Whedon turned out to be, with how he treated the cast. Ray Fisher, Gal Gadot, they were all unhappy. So, that says it all. Aquaman was the one that came after that. I really like Aquaman. It's one of my favourites. I love the Aquaman movie. And first DC movie, first Warner Brothers movie to reach the billion. So, then came Shazam. I like Shazam. Shazam 2 is coming out in a matter of months, and I do want to see that. Then came Birds of Prey, which definitely could have been better than it was. I don't know. I can't remember what movies came after that, honestly. Now, James Gunn's Suicide Squad was very good indeed. Very good. I really liked that. I really enjoyed it. Very different. I haven't seen Peacemaker yet. Basically, the DC, it's all a very mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag, and so James Gunn has now come in and said that he wants to restart over. And I can't believe I've been talking this long. I should get into it, so let's just see James Gunn's announcement for his DC slate. So let's get going with this. And play.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And
Good.
if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love. That resets the entire DC universe.
Okay.
And then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios is doing in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC.
Okay.
We're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see. Okay, next up is a big one, the true beginning of the DCU.
Right.
This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan. And we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective, with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DC. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU.
Wow.
The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken, and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the elements of Paradise Island.
Oh yeah.
The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in DC.
Okay.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold.
Oh!
Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero.
Wow.
So that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome underneath your own series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who's sent to Earth and raised by loving parents. Whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character.
Wow.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about. A very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the story.
Wow.
Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now.
That's a lot.
DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers, all of the creators, is unique.
Yes.
Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys. And we would give you something different than we've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you, James Gunn.
It's exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Yes! I'm loving this. I love that. I loved all of that. There was some I was confused by, but you know what? I'll deal with it. They announced a lot of things. They said, okay, from the start he said all content is connected. So movies, TV shows, games, animated, it's all connected. And they're going to try and make it so that all the actors can voice the characters in animation, voice the characters in the games, play the characters in TV shows, play the characters in films. I love that so much. Because one thing that Marvel has not managed to do for a long time until the Disney Plus stuff came out, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. seemed very disconnected. I don't know if Runaways was connected to the DC, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all. Cloak and Dagger, Daredevil, Punisher, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. It all felt so disconnected from the MCU. Whereas this, it looks like James is looking at all the accomplishments of the MCU and bringing them over, and then looking at all of the failures of the MCU and correcting them. So, I'm loving that. He said that there are some exceptions. Matt Reeves' Batman, we knew that was disconnected. Todd Phillips' Joker, we knew that was disconnected. Teen Titans Go, I've never watched it, I don't want that connected. I only took one look at Teen Titans Go when it was first announced and I was like, that is a bastardized version of the original Teen Titans. No, I'm not doing that. But, yeah. And he said that any that are not connected will clearly be listed as Elseworlds. So that's great. You need to know which... None of this asking, none of people questioning, like, is it connected, is it not? No more questioning. We're gonna make it clear, this is what's connected and this is what's not connected. So great. And he said that the first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. That's the name of the first chapter. So it's like phase 1, except it's got a name and it's called it's a chapter as well. Gods and Monsters, and he said this isn't even... There was a lot of stuff that was in here, and he said that's not even the full slate of chapter 1. How many things did he announce? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11! No, 10. 10 things. 10 things, and that's not even the full chapter 1. Now, obviously, I've got to point out, my friend York, he told me on the way back home from work today that the one thing they didn't announce in this video was the release date of Matt Reeves' Batman, the part 2. It's going to be October 2025. So that's when part 2 of the Batman comes out. So I have to wait over a year for that movie? Nearly 2 years for that movie to come out? Ah! I don't know if I can wait that long. But yeah, so Gods and Monsters, back to this. Gods and Monsters is the first chapter. He also talks about the things that are coming still. He said Shazam 2 is still coming out. Okay, so he said because Shazam is its own character and he's always off in his own little world, it connects very well. So does that mean they're keeping Zachary Levi? Because honestly, Zachary Levi is one of those that I wouldn't want to get away from me, because he's great. He talks about the Flash as well, that's the thing that's going to reboot the universe, so they are using Flashpoint to reboot the universe. Good. That's how you should do it if you want to make it less seamless. You want to make it appear less... You want to make it appear more seamless, so using Flashpoint is a good way. Although I don't know why you wouldn't just delay Flashpoint until the very end. Because obviously once the Flash movie ends, you've also got Blue Beetle and Aquaman still to come out. Which Blue Beetle, I'm very excited for Blue Beetle. What's the actor's name? Sholo something. He played Miguel in Cobra Kai. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's perfect for Blue Beetle. I was honestly really hoping that he would be part of the new DCU. I hope he is, because this is how I see it. Blue Beetle is basically DC's version of Spider-Man. He's that ground level, fun teenage character. And do not tell me otherwise. You know that if Marvel Studios would have had access to Spider-Man, he would have been a Phase 1 character. He would have been maybe the first movie in the MCU. He would have been in the first Avengers. He would have been a founding member of the Avengers in the MCU if Disney and Marvel Studios had access to him from the beginning. But because Sony had him, and it took him a while to make that deal, that's why he was a Phase 3 character, and onwards. So maybe that's where DC is going. Maybe they want to say, hey look, Blue Beetle can be fun. Look, here he is, and he's part of our new DCEU. He's part of the new DCU, and he's a Phase 1 character, a Chapter 1 character, so why not? Blue Beetle can be a fun character, and I think Sholo deserves it. So... And then you've also got Aquaman as well. They said Aquaman 2 then leads directly into their new DCU. So are they keeping Jason Momoa as well? Does that mean they're also keeping Amber Heard? Because I'm wondering, if you're keeping Jason Momoa as Aquaman, is he ever gonna be Lobo? Because I know that he wants to be Lobo, and I know that Jason Momoa put out a post recently that he was very happy after his meeting with Peter Safran, James Gunn, and David Zaslav. So he was very happy about the meeting that he had with them, and I just assumed that meant that he got the Lobo part that he'd always wanted. But this hints that maybe he is staying on as Aquaman. He could play both. They're very different characters. Interesting. Okay, it's a TV animated series, is Creature Commandos. Written by James Gunn. All the episodes have been written by James Gunn, so it's going to be very consistent and very wild as well. Yeah, so also the the characters of Creature Commandos, they'll be voiced by certain actors, and should they move into live action, they'll mostly be played by the actor who's playing them in voiceover. So that's very good. It's very good consistency. Because I'll tell you this about Star Wars, I will forever be bitter that they did not get Ashley Eckstein to play Ahsoka in The Mandalorian and in Boba Fett. I will be forever bitter about that. I know they also haven't cast the voiceover actress who played Sabine in Rebels into the new Ahsoka series. I know that they're also not bringing Vanessa Marshall in to play Hera. I pray to God that they get Lars Mikkelsen to play Thrawn, because that's the most stupid decision if you don't do that. And then also Taylor Gray as Ezra Bridger in the Ahsoka series, if that happens. So get in here, getting the voice actors to play them in live action as well is so smart, and it just offers consistency. This universe is showing that it's going to have consistency. So Viola Davis is also moving into Waller. We also have a TV live action series called Waller, and Viola Davis is back. So Viola Davis as Waller is just a perfect casting. There's no way you can just get rid of it. You needed Viola Davis to play Waller. And it's also written by the people who did Watchmen and Doom Patrol as well. And Waller's going to be teaming up with people from Team Peacemaker, so I'm going to have to watch Peacemaker. Of course, James Gunn is going to allow his Peacemaker and Suicide Squad stuff to bleed over. James Gunn is so biased when it comes to the people he works with. He cast his wife in the Peacemaker show and Suicide Squad. He brings his friends and family into the movies he does. Sean Gunn, Nathan Fillion, Peter Serafinowicz, I think. But he just lets these people keep coming into his things. He's even hinted that Chris Pratt is going to join the DCU. Dave Bautista wants to join the DCU. He's so James Gunn is so biased, and I love it. He's just a big fan. Like, this is what I love about James Gunn. He's a big fan of the things that he's making. He doesn't take it as just a job. He wants this, and he wants it bad. And then moving on to what he calls the true start is Superman Legacy, his new Superman movie that he's writing. And he said before that Superman and Batman are pivotal parts of his new DC universe going forward. And I can't wait! I can't wait! It looks like James Gunn has had a lot of influence on this going forward. Creature, okay, three projects in. Creature Commandos, he's writing it. Waller, it's involved actors he's worked with before. Superman Legacy, he's writing it. And that's just the 3 projects that have been announced so far. So he's got a hand in all 3 of these projects that are coming out so far. He's very involved. July 11th, 2025 as well is the release date. So a couple months before the Batman Part 2 comes out. I know the Batman is not connected, but I just love that we're getting a Superman movie and a Batman movie. 2 separate movies of Superman and Batman in the same year. Finally, the live action Green Lantern series. HBO as well. Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. I love it. And you know this is right up James Gunn's wheelhouse. The whole cosmic stuff. This is right in his wheelhouse as well, where you can get into all the weird cosmic characters. It's basically Guardians of the Galaxy. And I love it. Oh, this is a terrestrial-based TV show. Does terrestrial mean that it's limited to Earth? But either way, I'm happy to see that Green Lantern is finally getting its fair shake again. I mean, you've waited over 10 years to give Lantern its fair due. Just because the last movie was that bad doesn't mean you have to wait over 10 years, probably 15 years at this point, because this might be 2026. That's 15 years since the Ryan Reynolds movie. I'm sorry, but no movie is that bad where you have to wait 15 years for it to go. For you to attempt it again. Especially Green Lantern. And they said that it's going to tie into the larger story of the universe. So does this include Darkseid, Brainiac, whatever? I wonder if that includes it, because in the MCU, Guardians of the Galaxy was the first one to properly show off, like, Guardians of the Galaxy gave you, like, the lore of the Infinity Stones, and it gave you quite a bit of Thanos as well. It would make sense that Green Lanterns is the one that maybe hints at Darkseid for the big overall plot. Okay, so the Authority is a team of characters based on Wildstorm characters, and they're going to be interacting with the primary DC characters, and it's a big film as well. He said, James Gunn said it's a passion project of his. So is that another thing he's involved in? Is he writing? Is he directing? What is he doing? Now, Paradise Lost. James Gunn pitched this to perfection. It sounds awesome. It's basically Game of Thrones on Themyscira. I'm all for that. That's the perfect pitch for me. I'll take it. It's a TV show as well. It's a live-action TV show. It's Game of Thrones and House of Dragons on Themyscira. That's what it is. Yes. So I wonder if it's going to be like gore as well, like Game of Thrones is. I'm so excited. I wonder if Hippolyta is going to be in it. If Artemis is going to be in it. If the Circle is going to be in it. No, those 4 rogue Amazons. I wonder if Wonder Woman's going to be in this at all. Because this would be something like you'd make it's like a prequel to the DCU when Diana is like a little girl or something. Okay, then we've got the introduction of the DCU's Batman, which is a story of Batman and Damian Wayne Robin. So does that mean we've already got Nightwing, we've already got Jason Todd, we've already got Tim Drake, we've already got Barbara Gordon? Does that mean we've still got all that? I hope they do bring Leslie Grace back as Barbara Gordon. Because, yes, they cancelled that movie, but from what I've heard, it was apparently a bad film that would have lost them money. It would have been a train wreck if they actually released it. So I hope they actually give her fair shake again. I hope they actually let her star in a movie that's actually good this time, because when I heard that casting, I thought, that's a good casting, I like that. So hopefully they give her a fair shake and let her be in this new cinematic universe as Batgirl. It's called The Brave and the Bold. Iconic Batman story. Booster Gold TV series. You know he's going to cast Nathan Fillion as this role. You know he is. This is a perfect role for Nathan Fillion. You know James Gunn is he's gonna at least attempt to cast Nathan Fillion in this role as Booster Gold. You know it. It's a TV show as well. People have been pulling for Booster Gold for such a long time now. It's ridiculous, and you know, Booster Gold is a character that's right up James Gunn's alley. One of those stupid, obscure characters that has just got a fan following that's come out of nowhere. Now, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. We're getting a Supergirl movie. Are they going to use the actress from Flashpoint, maybe? Or are they not? Are they going to go with the blonde hair, blue eyes Supergirl? So, yeah, giving Supergirl her own movie. And they said they're going to make her a bit more of a jaded character as well, so I wonder how. Apparently she grows up on a chunk of Krypton as well, a chunk of the destroyed Krypton, and she's watched everyone she loves die. So I wonder how she will vibe with this new version of Superman, which James Gunn has said is going to be a very joyous character. A very uplifting character. So I wonder how this Supergirl is gonna vibe with him. And then finally we're gonna get a horror origin story of Swamp Thing. It's a movie as well. These projects are so good. I am missing, like, I don't see any Flash anywhere. Are they going to keep Ezra Miller? Because that doesn't sound like a sound idea at this point. I mean, we know you're recasting, we know you're going to recast Superman, we know you're going to recast Batman and Wonder Woman, we know you've got to get a new casting, we know you've got to get a casting for Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Who knows what you're doing with Jason Momoa at this point? But if you're recasting Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman, I feel like, I mean, Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck, they did nothing wrong. But Ezra Miller is a different story. Do you want to keep that guy around? I would not. Like, I didn't mind his Flash, but I wonder what the hell you're going to do. Like, surely you can't keep Ezra Miller if you're going to get rid of Henry. Like, the fan uproar is going to be insane if you've got rid of Henry, Ben and Gal, but you keep Ezra. It's going to be a huge problem. So we'll see where that goes. I'm also missing a new Aquaman if you're really rebooting that universe. So we've not got any confirmation on if they're recasting Flash, Aquaman, and Shazam. We know they're keeping the Peacemaker characters. We know they're keeping Amanda Waller. But what else? And one last thing that James Gunn said that I really love is they want to promote unique visions. So every director that's attached to these things, like, for instance, Superman is going to be a joyous character. Then you've got Swamp Thing, it's going to be a horror movie. Then you've got the Supergirl movie, which is going to be a sci-fi action thriller movie. So every project has got its own unique taste to it, because a lot of people say that the MCU, it's all the same thing, like it's all got the same vibe now, like it's all light-hearted, it's all family friendly kind of, whereas then you've got stuff like this, which Swamp Thing is going to be a horror film, that's not a family friendly movie. Superman might be a family friendly movie, who knows if Supergirl is going to be family friendly. You've got Paradise Lost, which is going to be like a Game of Thrones, that's not family friendly. Who knows if the Lantern Show is going to be family friendly or not. But James Gunn said you want to promote unique visions. I've got to believe there is a way where you can make everything like have its own flavour, but keep it in a cohesive universe. I've got to believe that. And James Gunn as well, he said he was going to release this Slate during January, and like the snarky little bitch, the little bastard that he is, he releases it on the last day of January. What a bastard, but we love you, James Gunn. Thank you so much for giving us this. I'm very excited. I'm going to go watch other people's reactions, so that means I've got to end this. So, yeah, that is all we've got for this announcement of DC Studios. I am so happy. Until next time, we are over and out. Bye!